So, two observations. I have talked to Teja once on the phone and I met her second time today. Okay. Sincerity, genuine human being, isn't that itself is a big gift? Correct? People show about themselves, not who they are, but what others want to see. Correct? Whereas making yourself vulnerable and open, not worrying about what others will think, isn't it the first gift you can share with the world to reduce the chaos around you? Yes or no? How many of you have been told about only your strengths, not your weakness? Show of hands. You have never ever been told about your weakness from anyone. Show of hands. Non-existent, correct? Everyone has been told at some point in their life, this is what you should improve on, this is what you should. Whereas the new way of thinking and doing in life is how can you appreciate, acknowledge, and adapt to somebody else's best human qualities. Not cognitive skills, but human qualities. All of you will get a platform to serve corporates, government, or other enterprise that you want to work with, yes or no? Would you like to work with that company because they are paying you the most or because you are the happiest in that environment? Louder. Happiest in that environment, right? But do they give you the transparency at the time of interviewing you? I've been married 40 years, okay? I and my wife met for a period of 7 minutes. How much? And how long the marriage has lasted? So now does the management analytical skills that you're all learning, does it give you this kind of a guaranteed outcome? It's probability, yes? If we do analysis paralysis, does it create sustainable outcome, sustainable relationship that makes both people happy? No, correct? We all are brought up in entitlement-driven world. Why do you think we are all going through tremendous chaotic mindset, chaotic outcomes, chaotic environment? Yes or no right now? How many of you have lost one or the other loved ones that you have in COVID in the last 2 years? We have lost 21. I survived last year in COVID pneumonia. When you're being with mortality, you understand the value of life, correct? When you talk about the chaos, I had a choice of becoming victim mindset and hoping for worse to happen, or developing a mindset of doing something about it, accepting the most adverse circumstances and overcoming it, coping up with it, correct? So we all have choice. So what is the second lesson on thriving on chaos? No one cares how much you know. No one. Your employers don't care. Your team members don't care how much you know, unless you demonstrate how much you care. Empathy-driven relationship is antidote to entitlement-driven promotion. How many of you would love to be empathetic more than who you are? Show of hands. How many of you feel on a 1 to 10 point, you are 10 on empathy? Show of hands. And how many of you are 1 on most apathetic human being? Show of hands. I don't see any hand raising being apathetic or most empathetic. So where are you guys? Somewhere in between? Would you like to be more towards 8, 9, 10, where others seek you, others gravitate to you, others attract and kind of give you more assignment, more opportunities, or would you like to be in a survival mindset? Share with me. So you need to create more value, correct? So if you do things to others when they don't expect, they accept you. I will repeat. When you do the things when others don't expect, They accept you with open arms. When they accept you with open arms, is there a chaos between the two relationship? No. If there a chaos between, now how many of you had seen 9/11, 2001? There was a movie and there was a real 9/11. How many of you had seen either of the two? On the TV or otherwise? I was there. I lost 26 of my friends who were in World Trade Center at that point of time. We created the support system that lasted for 3 years. We gave up our time to serve the families. Would you get a human opportunity to do that very frequently? And if you do, and if you let it go, would you get another opportunity at a future date? No. And this is where, whether it is COVID, whether it's 9/11, whether it's tsunami, or several other traumatic experiences, capital market-wise, personal family-wise, emotional breakdown-wise, or even your education-wise, right? Classic examples. Recently, 12,000 students came back from Ukraine. How much chaos is out there? 1,200 students out of 12,000 were in final year, final semester of their medical school, engineering school. Can they ever go back? They have to start their life all over again. Because no Ukrainian education is accepted in India, correct? If you were in their place, what would you do? Isn't it the most confusing state of mind, the chaotic state of mind? Parents borrowed so much money to send the kids to get higher degree and valuation, correct? So how many uncertainties and variables we just discussed? 5. If you were in that place as a problem solver, what will you do? Empathetic listening, that's lesson number 3. If you care to listen, like 65 of our volunteers travel 10 hours one way from Paris, from Amsterdam, from Switzerland, to be on the border of Poland and Romania, to be with the children, the ambassadors, the Dr. Singh, who was the head of the defense, everyone who said, he says, what you have provided is human contribution. We have provided them hope and transportation back home. This is, my friend, your opportunity to think differently. Now, how many of you are in the final year of business school? Or first year? All of you are first year business school. How many of you had work experience before you joined MBA program? Okay, about 20% of you had work experience, correct? So you know the uncertainties in the world that you worked, correct? What was your motivation to join business school?
So mine was like, with a graduation degree, I was expecting some promotion which I was not getting in my work life.
So monetary incentive. Okay. What was yours?
I had already thought of going for an MBA, so to increase my knowledge and skill sets.
How many years did you work before you applied for business? 3 months? Okay. Somebody up back, you had raised your hand. Yes. Can somebody communicate to me, because I can barely hear him? So professional upliftment you wanted to have. She wanted to have the financial upliftment. Somebody said he had already made up his mind, and 3 months he was. Anybody else would like to contribute? All 3 of them operated from left brain, not the right brain. Correct? If you had the mindset and said, I want to be the best mentor or the best in my field in doing what it is, that's passion. The difference between chaos and clarity, please write this down. Difference between chaos and clarity is compassion. Those who follow everybody else in the hope that they will find their path will always have a chaotic life no matter what they do, because they will wait for somebody else to uplift them. Those who have clarity about 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, we have 100 years, which means 3 generations of clarity. All of you are members of a family, correct? How many of your grandparents have spent quality time with you? Show of hands. Wonderful. Every one of you have a story to tell about your grandparents. It brings a big smile on everybody's face in this room, right? They haven't paid you money, but they gave you abundance of hope, happiness, and selfless contribution. Correct? If you were to become what they have given you as a gift for others, where you impact professionally, personally, financially, do you think you will have the same outcome of somebody else determining what you're worth, or you'll get a lot more? I was one of the top performing students in undergrad chemical engineering school in UD City, had only top 50 in the whole country, merits driven only, no entrance exam. If you are not in the top 25 in Bombay University, please don't apply. Okay. I didn't know that. Second, Jamnalal Bajaj Institute, 20 students and 10,000 applications. IIM Ahmedabad, same way. I didn't know that, what I was gifted with. Correct? Because when you are amongst the best of the best, everyone is in the same thing. But what made me transformed completely is I was admitted into Harvard for my PhD program, and my grandfather says, "No, my grandson, you have to be with me." What did I choose? Harvard or my grandfather? Tell me. Grandfather. I was accepted in IIM Ahmedabad. Again, my father said, "You have to be with me." What did I choose? IIM Ahmedabad or my father? Do I regret the decision that I made? My children tell me I was the craziest young person who let go of opportunity to go to Harvard. Correct? But do people care about where I came from? Or they connected with me because I connect with them? Correct? So don't feel studying in Goa is small or going to IIM Ahmedabad is big. All people see you is what can you bring to the relationship with the corporate, personal, internship, or mentoring, the value. And I would suggest for all the faculty members who are seeing this or even listening to this is don't judge just by the marks in the subject, but understand at a human level what each one of the student is gifted with. I'm going to give each one of you a gift of Harmony scorecard. It's not what you think who you are, it's what others have experienced who you are. Correct? Like all of you mentioned with great smile how you felt about your grandparents. It didn't matter what they were educated about. It didn't matter how much money they had. It's all about how much love, how much unconditional relationship they shared with you. So in the corporate world, the chaos, entitlement will always be there. It was there when I was a student. It will always be there when you will become my age, right? But what you have to do is live life of a lotus. You know what does a lotus do? It's in the mud water, but does it smell when you pick up the lotus? Tell me. The trunk of the lotus also doesn't smell. So what is it that it is gifted with? It takes away all the negative qualities around its surroundings and still give fragrance. That's why it is at the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. Yes? Would you like to be that lotus for every corporate that you serve or business that you own and you create impact on the community members that you are giving opportunity to? How many of you in this room, by show of hands, are dreamers? You have dreams that you want to pursue, but waiting for the right break. You. Okay, anybody else? Be fearless. What's your dream? What kind? Okay, 10 years down the line, what do you envision? In terms of the revenue model, what is the revenue? If you do, you make you very happy. Quantify it. What does it translate to? Okay, so if I were to give him full credit, Currently, how much is he making? Zero. From growing from 0 to 10, 20 crores in 10 years' time. Correct? That's 100,000x. Yes or no? Anybody that has a bold goal, audacious goal, okay, are dreams. But if you have a blueprint, a roadmap, how do you get there? So how many faculty members have you sat down to discuss your roadmap? Have you? Would you like to if I facilitate the process? Remember, the more clarity you have, the chaos is everybody will laugh out at his goals, that it's not possible. They are telling them, these are the obstacles that's going to come your way. These are the things. So we have a process called circle of excellence. This circle of excellence allow you to empower yourself through capability of others that can help you get to where you want to get. Correct? Each one of you have that strength. Each one of you are blessed with type of family members or mentors, friends. We have to find who would be that member of the circle who will get to the dream that you want to achieve. Correct? So don't give up. But I'm giving you one more goal. If you were to make 100 crores revenue, what would you do things differently than what you're doing now? Speak up. Okay. So you would grow more from 100 crores, right? Okay, let me ask on left side of the room, two people giving him, if you were in his place, what will you do if you had 100 crore revenues every year? And you're going to be given gifts. So those who are open and sincere communicator will receive a gift from me.
So invest and expand. Invest and expand.
Invest in expansion. Okay. One more answer from left side. You can't speak because now others have to give you suggestion. Anybody else? Yes. A little bit. Start a trust fund. What about what? Expand on that.
Loud, please. Please pass the mic to.
Yeah.
In 10 years of the starts of
Yeah. I think her mic is not working. Okay, speak up a little bit. So you start a trust fund, and what benefit the trust fund will deliver?
His personal things.
Okay, help him understand what does personal thing stand for.
Maybe his future child's education or something like
Okay, fine, perfect. This side, two more people. What would you recommend him to do if he had 100 crore revenue? I'm sorry? Buy a car for yourself? 100 crore revenue. Yeah, so if you were him, what will you do? Fine, fine. Okay, people from the back, one volunteer.
Yes, please, probably I'll make up a team to help me maintain that money which I have and grow it move further.
Okay, wonderful. So all four of you gave different input to him. Now, Teja, you are called upon. He's made 100 crores. If you were him, what would you do? You made 100 crore in a year.
So take some amount of it for your personal consumption, some amount of it for future growth of the company.
Yes.
And some amount of it for the society or for.
So corporate social responsibility.
Yes.
Okay.
That's growth. That is what is growth. So some amount of give bonus to your employees. Somebody saying give bonus to your employees.
Wonderful. Now, all of you are what we call it as a tier one thinking, correct? 100 crore comprehension is if you made, and give you an example, Narayan Murthy of Infosys and Larry Page of Google. Do you think that Sundar Pichai was born with a platinum spoon? Or he came from a small village in South, went to IIT and grew up the system? Did he have any experience of managing $1 trillion company? Never. At 49, how is he managing? Did he go to Harvard MBA? No. He went to Life University MBA. Larry Page and Sergey Brin were his mentors, right? Infosys, Patni Computers is where Narayan Murthy, Nandan Nilekani, and Balakrishnan worked as employees, right? Did they have any prior life experience in their family to run a business and build $1 billion a year revenue business? No. How did it happen? They were in the most chaotic depression environment. I'm talking about 85 to 90, where inflation was at 15%. Right now it's at 6.9%. It was at 15%. The worst time to start any business. They had zero help from the banks. How did they start? Did they have a vision to grow it to a $20 billion a year revenue? Do you think? So what happened? They were in a chaotic environment. What did they do? Sorry?
They cleared the chaos, they cleared their mind, and then they follow steps.
Okay. I know all of them, and I'll tell you exactly what happened. They were all sitting in, and this was December, January, when it was snowing the most in Boston, correct? They worked during 80s. I'm talking about 81, 82, 83. Were there any Microsoft Windows and Google? Nothing. So they were all thinking and said, we are working for Patni family and we are so far away from our family. Can we start something that will keep our family together? What was the vision? Keep everyone family closer to each other, right? Bangalore was not where Bangalore is today. It was a sleeping giant. They all started with their savings of 10,000 rupees. How much? 4 of them. My friend Kamlesh Gandhi was the 5th one, and he said, no, I'm the only child and my father cannot be lived in out of Bombay. So he stayed back. Lo and behold, this 40,000 rupees at the end of 3 years became 400,000 rupees. And today, if you see, invested in the people to create extended family, invested in the relationship. They don't have customers, they have clients. The difference between other vendor providers and Infosys is they have relationships that they own. Third one was credibility and goodwill. Today, if there was anyone that was getting married within Infosys family, Sudha Murthy and Narayan Murthy personally helped them. If someone is there for you when you need them the most, would you ever leave them? Are you treating yourself as an employee or a family? So what will be your loyalty? High. What will be your productivity? High. Giving them bonuses does not raise the question. Why? Because you are involved in their family for the growth of their family, correct? So you have Infosys University, you have Infosys Academy, you have Infosys Mentoring Council, and several more initiatives that kept. This was the first company in India, going back in 90s, where if you were having young child, they had a daycare center in-house. How many workplace that you know that provided in-house daycare center? Empathy. What separated chaotic opportunities, chaotic environment to create a wonderful compassion, empathy-driven engagement. Today, they are respected not because he's a chairman of board of governors of Ahmedabad, but because he's a fantastic human being. So in the world of chaos, which we are all kind of victim of, whether it is COVID, whether it is tsunami, whether it is capital market crisis, or several other political issues. If you are clear about what matters, and please write this acronym down, CAR. CAR. C stands for consciousness. A stands for awareness and R stands for readiness. So to his point, several people said he will buy a set of cars, he'll give bonuses to the employees, he will do different things, correct? The consciousness is if he's starting this business because he want to become impact creator, then he will be able to scale. If he wants to do it because he's coming from a modest family and he wants to give a better livelihood for the family members, then he will grow only to limited scale. So you have to think through and see where do you think you're going. Because when you are in the internship program or the placement program, one of the things that we as CEOs ask, not what you want to do and why we should hire you, but where do you see yourself 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now? Correct? The more clearer you are, the more problem solvers you become. The more problem solvers you become, the more empathetic listeners you become. Correct? And this is the new paradigm. All of you need to be prepared that the next generation of employers are going to look in a chaotic environment like this, people who are self-driven, empathetic listeners and problem solvers. They can hire Excel spreadsheet analysts from anywhere. Why you? What is important is, are you seeing yourself as part of or part of employment? Mindset shift. Correct? The next set of chaos that we are seeing is generational. All of you, the digital generation, I don't call them millennial generation. I call all of you digital generation. My nephew and niece who are in 17, 18-year-old right now, they know more about how much I knew times 2 because of Google, because of exposure to the information. So is information making you intelligent? Yes or no? Is information making you intelligent or informed? Difference. If you know how to process that information to apply it to solve the problem around you, do you think younger generation have that skills to visualize, conceptualize, crystallize, and memorialize? They all want to be in survival mindset. Another important thing, during our times, there were only 7 IITs and 1 university. There were 600,000 students for 2,000 seats. Now you're talking millions, but you have several IITs, IIMs, and other universities, correct? Don't worry about where you're graduating from. I went to Gujarati medium school, but at home, Dad mandated English communication. So I'm speaking before 4,000 people today without referring a piece of paper. How so? Clarity, not content. Everyone you can hire with content, but people with clarity go far away. At 30, I was the youngest CEO in India for Best Foods. They didn't know what to do with me, from management training to all the way to CEO in 8 years' time. Is it easy for any one of you? Yes, no. I was not prepared. It just happened. Do I take the credit? No. I brought circle of like-minded people, fellow colleagues, executives, and they made me look good. So I never took credit, and I still don't take any credit for what I deliver. It's all about synergies. So there are 4 gifts I'm giving you. First is gift of synergies. Individually, all of you are incomplete because you only have limited strengths, but collectively, it is a fantastic collaboration. Future collaborative synergies. The second is simplification. There are too many people who will impress others about how much they know. But if you can help every corporate or every team member or every family simplify the outcome, desirable outcome, and the transparency outcome, you don't have to make it up. You be genuine to who you are. All the chaos will be removed from around you and you will stand out. This is Outliers. How many of you have read Malcolm Gladwell, Tipping Point? If not, pick up that book. Tipping Point. It didn't matter where he came from, and he was not a born journalist. He transformed himself into a writer because of his life experiences. And one of the things that he said about chaos, and he said, chaos is human created, clarity is group created. So if you remove yourself from being a lonely performer in any walk of life to make it a seeker, learn, seek, and if you have a stronger alumni association, reach out. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone and say, I need 30 minutes of your time. These are my questions, these are my issues. Would you please help? Are you asking for a job? No, you're asking for more clarity, more guidance so that you can become better contributor. If you need any help, I'll make myself available because this is where it's a way of my life. I was mentored by 16 most eminent global personalities. I was lucky to be one, but I'm giving, paying forward. And over the last 30 years, I've mentored over 100,000 people around the world. So if you want to, I'll make myself available because at the end of the day, when I was in your position 40 years ago, somebody believed in me. Correct? Would you like to call upon and accept this challenge? Feel free. Teja and Nilesh both have my numbers and emails. Feel free to be on reach out, but be prepared because I'm a tough mentor. I ask heartfelt questions, and if you are truthful and honest to learn, your life will never be the same. So the last point that I want to make in thriving on the chaos is in the revolutions that we have been through in the last 60, 70 years. You went with agricultural revolution, post-independence, correct? Then you went into industrial revolution during 60s and 70s. Then in 70s, you had the technology revolution or information revolution that lasted 25 years. From 95 onwards, that became knowledge-based revolution, which was intellectual property around, correct? We are already from 95 to 2020. Time has gone. We are already in the second year of the new revolution. What's that new revolution? This is one of the questions you'll be asked in the interview when you are going for placement. So what's the next revolution? No, that's part of knowledge. Okay. Artificial intelligence, machine-based learning, everyone has been, and it's exploded in the last 7 years. Blockchain, you just talk about all of this, it's behind. Now we are in a whole new set of revolution. What's that? You have a speed, you have the efficiency, you have the scale because of all artificial intelligence, correct? So disruptions have occurred. Now what's happening or what's needed or what's going to happen? Tell me. I'm challenging your right brain now. Teja, you can participate, Any one of you can. Feel free. I'm giving you 30 seconds. And don't feel afraid of being wrong. There's nothing wrong. What revolutions we have already become part of. And it's much easier than you think. I'm sorry? No. That's disruption, not revolution. Revolution is something that transforms the whole future generation. So what's that? I'm sorry? It's last 2 cycles. You went through information revolution and knowledge revolution. That's done. Now, what is the next frontier? What's EB? There's also knowledge revolution. My friends, get your mind out of products, sectors. Think through differently. What's missing? All of you have been lonely during the COVID pandemic, no mobility, correct? What happened in those 2 years? People began communicating with each other better. People started each other better. Conflict resolutions became better. What does it translate to one word? Values. Correct? You understand value of time. You understand value of life. You understand value of money. You have so much savings, nothing to travel, nowhere to travel. Correct? Work from home. Productivity was still there. But how many of us saw the world differently? 2% of the people made the decision to be different, and those transformed their life. 60% saw the web series. So they made Ekta Kapoor and several others filthy rich because of the viewership. So you need to make a choice. Would you like to be 2% of the world and transform your life, or 60% of the world and always worry about survival of your life? Show of hands. Who want to be part of 2%? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, Teja, you need to treat everybody for lunch because they don't have energy to raise their hands. Majority of you would love to be different, but it takes time, talent, and treasure to invest in others, not yourself. You invest in others, which means your employer, your family, aren't you creating value? What is it worth to the person that is receiving the benefit? Priceless. If you have that as a major contribution, what happens to your promotion? What happens to your growth? What happens to your organic growth? It's a way of life. This is something, my friend, you have to see it is. Chaos will always be there as part of life. How you address that as a raw material to your certainty, your predictability, and your sustainability. Today, everyone talks about CSR in the company, right? But if you make positive impact on everybody's life every day, aren't you, even though you're not making money now, doing a CSR? Correct? They have mandate that I have to give 5% of whatever I make if I make more than 5 crores. They feel it's a burden. But if you make it as a second nature, would you not be seeked after by the people who are social entrepreneurs like Narayan Murthy? Yes or no? That's additional degree on the top of MBA. Remember that. So if you're not doing it, it's not late. Think through what your gift is. How could you apply this gift to help others? How could helping others selflessly will help you feel happy, joy? What does joy stand for? Tell me. What does joy stand for? I'm sorry?
Being happy.
Being? JOY stands for journey outside yourself. Journey outside yourself. You are in comfort zone because you are in a tunnel from kindergarten all the way to MBA, correct? You've been told to do certain things. If you are traveling journey outside yourself by help from others, they are seeing different qualities in you, different gifts in you, different traits in you to uplift you. Find those people. Seek those people. Surround yourself with people. That would lead to fantastic exponential growth for every one of you. And this is my parting gift, that sky is the limit for financial wealth, but personal accountability is what you need to have holistic wealth. Your physical well-being, your emotional well-being, your personal well-being, your spiritual well-being, your emotion and relational well-being, along with professional money and financial assets, correct? So make sure you make it as a holistic contributor to every relationship that you have. Then there is no chaos in life. My book has a harmony scorecard. So all of you who want to have a copy of that, please feel free to provide your email. We'll help you send, and we will help you interpret what will it help you with and how could you become better than what you are. Grade point average is only one measurement, right? Being oratory communicator is a second measurement, but being a great human being impacting others through who you are and what you stand for is completely 80% of the reason why these people are very different level over 20, 30, 40 years. So my best wishes to every one of you that 40 years ago, I was in the audience the way you are. Over last 30 years, I've addressed over 2,000 keynotes all over the world. And one thing I always say, I am the medium through which God does His work. So whoever you believe in, find a mentor, find a guru, find someone that you can communicate regularly with and who will uplift you. So I'm now opening up to the questions, and the more questions you ask, the more gifts you receive.
So I will start. I don't need the mic, but sir, like you mentioned in your entire session about empathy. So I have this observation in my life experience that sometimes when we empathize with people, they also tend to take advantage of the fact that you are empathetic towards them, and sometimes that empathy leads to a kind of a negative effect on you because the person who is receiving that empathy takes it like we are doing help to them as an advantage. So that is my worry when we empathize with people, because I have come across several instances in my personal life when at times when I was empathetic, it was seen and perceived differently.
So, may I give you a liberation?
Yes, yes.
Empathy is a human gift which is also supported by zero expectation. If you are empathetic, there is no give and take. All of you agree with me? If you are sympathetic, there is a give and take. Remember the two difference. In empathetic, you're only a giver, no expectation. In the sympathetic, COVID victims, this victims, that victims, let me help you. And then if you don't reciprocate, you feel disappointed. You see, what did I do for so many? But they don't understand, they don't appreciate. That's sympathy, not empathy. So in empathy, my heart tells me to make impact on every single day on one person. I'm grateful to that person that gave me opportunity. Whether that person is nice to you, manipulative about it, remember, that person is cashing his own or her goodwill. Okay? So he would not have a courage to come back to you. If you were empathetic and they took advantage of the situation, this is one of the fantastic insights about even corporate careers. If you deliver more before others expect, they will keep on kicking you up. My personal journey. Okay. Lot of my family members, my own family members were saying, you're stupid, you are too much generous with your time and doing this. I am like a feather. So I say, I don't care what others treat me for. It's all about my inner quest for giving. Are you a giver or you are a giver and taker? Tell me. If you are a taker, you are rightfully disappointed. But if you are a giver, continue to give and give with a smile. Your question?
Yeah, I was just thinking, sir, see, in every company, employers are facing a lot of problems, clashing with a lot of problems. How it can be solved with a harmonious approach?
Good question. So question that he asked is, every company has employer-employee disconnect. How do you create a better harmony amongst? So it's a top-down, that is what is going on for years and generations, right? I'm the boss, I'm telling you what needs to be done. You carry out the instruction, you get paid. If you do well, I will give you bonus. Isn't that a carrot and stick approach? Has it worked in your own real life? Tell me. Has it? Or you've delivered miracles because your heart told you to do? Isn't it? So if you empower and educate as a faculty to tell your students to be different contributor, different communicator to the internship that they're going to do, and tell the employer who are coming to the campus for placing these people that going through what is your company offering in human development, what is your company offering in empowerment, what is your company offering in the mentoring program, and these people are willing to learn and adapt to what needs to be done. So don't ask your big name like Salgaonkars and Chaugules and this and that. No. What do you bring to the table? Now, secondly, it brings credibility. Because remember, you are setting the high expectations of mutual collaborative partnership. Right? So when you're preparing students to deliver values and you are now preparing employers to deliver their values, correct? Then harmony becomes a way of life. It will take you 1,000 days. How many days? By that, all of you will graduate from business school. 3 years? Yes? Now I'm saying in 1,000 days you'll be graduated from school and you will be working somewhere. So, but it takes 3 years to transform. Don't expect overnight. Once you see it, continue to be empathetic. Whether you're employee mindset, you're an employer mindset, does not matter. But do it. Anybody else? So in closing, I always ask questions. What was the relevance of what we talked today in your own daily life? This time, neither Teja nor him can answer. I will call upon volunteers if I don't have volunteers. What is one thing you learned that you could apply that will help you change your life? We'll start with you. Yes, both of you. Okay. Okay. How about you? Be kind to others. Okay. On that side, the third person from the left, yes, you. What is one thing that you learned that you could apply? No, the person ahead of you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The time to be kind to others.
Yes.
And also like understanding others and listening to their problems.
Wonderful. Okay, now you can go with your input.
I'm not expecting anything from others. They were-
Okay. And the person to your right?
The same thing, being kind to others.
Okay, so that's one common denominator that everybody is saying. Be kind to others. Now you go back when I asked all of you to stand up. What was the question I asked? What is one gift that you have? Share it with others. If you had to do this again, would not now be a lot more open to share that gift, what you are blessed with, correct? You want to be kind to others. Isn't that a gift to others? Okay. Both one in green and maroon, both of you, share with us. What is one thing you learned? The fourth row. Yes.
Yes, everyone.
Okay, how about you? I cannot hear her.
So being kind.
Okay. What's your finding today? What did you say?
To invest
100 crores? Okay, so what was the learning you got out of that?
Changing the way of thinking.
Right.
Like how the first time what we were thinking like in families or this thing, instead of that, going for next time, like building up a team that if they actually work together to build up that 100 crore for next 200.
Wonderful. Now on this side, from the top, second row, T-shirt. You.
this sensor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The one who has the bag or
No, you. The one with design, the T-shirt you're wearing.
yes. What did you learn in today's session? What was the thing that you required? Yes, your friend. Yes. Louder, please be loud.
Believing in yourself. Wonderful. One step further, the one with orange shirt.
Yes, first two.
Yeah. Okay. How about one in another orange shirt in the same row?
Yes.
Be helpful to others. Okay. This one, the one with the green. You.
Yes.
Wonderful. In this row, one with second row. Yeah. You, the one with stripes.
Important to have a sense of clarity.
Sense of clarity. Okay, there are four things that came out. Be kind to others. Correct. Scaling the
I want to add one. The thing what you said, the values.
values. So values. Then what you mentioned right now?
Clarity.
Clarity, sense of clarity. What was the fourth thing that you mentioned? Be kind to others, helpful to others, invest in others, correct? And finally, getting a sense of clarity. And this lady said from 100 crores, scaling the whole new capacity and values driven. If you combine all of that, 80% of the answers you have given, all of you, is right brain, not left brain. So analysis is what you learn in the school, application is what you learn in life. So thank you so much for being wonderful group in inspiring me and helping me serve. Thank you.
On behalf of Goa Business School, I would like to thank our guest speaker, Mr. Mayur Dalal, for accepting our invitation and being a part of our FOMENTO lecture series. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your vivid experience and your knowledge with us, and also for giving us your valued time.
Thank you.
So, like we always click one group picture where I want everyone to quickly, without making noise, come down to the podium here at the stage. And we all